Hi folks, just want to touch on a subject that I touched on yesterday. This is like an addendum, if you like, to the video that I made and posted yesterday with regards to the young lady who hit a knife man around the head with a baseball bat because he tried to rob her shop, and the 40-year-old man who was threatened by a 15-year-old lad with a knife, and the man took him to the floor, disarmed him, and was subsequently arrested for section 14, I think it was, or I can't remember off the top of my head. But he was arrested anyway for wounding with intent. Police Abuse and Powers channel also has a Twitter page, and I'm subscribed and I follow some of the police services and some of the newspapers. Had a ping on my phone earlier, and I had to check it out, and I've had to make this video about it because to me again, it shows double standards. Simply because somebody is wearing a uniform, they are treated differently from somebody who is not wearing a uniform. And that's wrong, because we all have that fundamental right to protect ourselves. We all have that right to protect ourselves. And when you are protecting yourself simply for the sake of protecting yourself, or whether you're protecting because you're being paid to protect, are two different things as far as I'm concerned. And this, I just had to share this with you as an addendum to the video that I posted yesterday, which I'll put a link to down below just in case you've missed it. This here is Greater Manchester Police Federation. It says GMP officers PC Stephen Lamb and PC Andrew McCombs have been awarded the John Egerton Trophy for bravely tackling a knife-wielding man. Okay, there they are. So let's have a look at what this story is about, shall we? This is the Greater Manchester Police Federation Facebook page. So it says, Greater Manchester police officers win Police Bravery Award for tackling knife-wielding man. PC Stephen Lamb and PC Andrew McCombs have been awarded the John Egerton Trophy for bravery at the Chief Constable's Award ceremony at Hoff End, I think that is, on Monday the 25th of March. The trophy is awarded annually to GMP officers who perform the most meritorious acts of valour during the year. This year, the trophy goes to PC Stephen Lamb and PC Andrew McCombs from Wigan, who bravely tackled an offender wielding a knife. Back in October 2018, PC Lamb and PC McCombs were responding to a 999 call of a local shop being robbed. Arriving at the scene, the two officers saw the offender climbing out of the shop under the metal shutter, carrying a basket full of stolen items. PC Lamb chased the offender, who tried to hide. In an attempt to evade capture, the offender attacked PC Lamb with a kitchen knife. Despite this, PC Lamb fought to detain the offender until PC McCombs arrived moments later and assisted in detaining the offender, who was still fighting throughout. The offender was successfully handcuffed and arrested. The stolen property, including shop takings, alcohol and cigarettes, were recovered. Both officers received injuries as a result of this struggle. PC Lamb was subjected to several knife wounds and PC McCombs suffered an injured hand. The ferocity of the attack was so violent that the knife had broken in the officer's vest during the attack. All of the injuries, by pure luck, were thankfully not serious. The offender was subsequently charged and sentenced to 8.5 years for 3 counts of robbery and GBH. Sergeant John Bibby explains that it is safe to say that yes, the response by all was fantastic, but the response by PC Steve Lamb and PC Andy McCombs was absolutely outstanding and brave. Thankfully, the two are not seriously injured, and this was more by luck than by design. Due to the officer's actions, a dangerous offender has now been removed from the streets, protecting the wider public. All stolen property was recovered, and the 2 female shop assistants who were threatened were able to see that the offender had been captured, offering an element of reassurance. If not for the brave actions of this officer, a prolific offender would still be at large and in a position to threaten more persons with his violent actions. By receiving this award, the 2 officers have been put forward for a National Police Bravery Award at the prestigious London ceremony on 18th of July. Constable John Egerton, who was just 20 years of age, was tragically killed whilst carrying out his duty in Farnworth on 11th of May 1982. The tragic loss of a wonderful young man who was a courageous and fine officer prompted a most generous response from the people throughout the country. This included students at the Police Training Centre, Bruges, who presented a commemorative cup to the Chief Constable, thereafter to be known as the John Egerton Trophy, and is supported by the Police Federation. So, let's just recap on that, shall we? 2 police officers attend a scene to find a man leaving a premises after having robbed it. He then runs away. The police take chase. To evade capture, the guy pulls out a kitchen knife and threatens the officers. The officers, doing their job, have to disarm the offender and arrest him, which they did. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, and I'm not suggesting that what the police did wasn't brave, because there's a lot of people when they're faced with a knife or any kind of weapon will crumble, and that's completely understandable. Nobody wants to be in that situation, and you have the flight or fight mechanism that kicks in. So it's nobody's fault. You know, it's not your fault if you stand and fight or if you run away. It's a psychological thing that's, you know, it's embedded in you. You don't have a choice, really, in what happens. But these guys, body armour, their own weapons, took on a perpetrator who had a knife. Thankfully, nobody was seriously hurt. But they're getting an award for bravery. The police officers who were wearing body armour, who had their own weapons, okay, parva spray, baton, they may even have had a taser or something else, I don't know, it doesn't say. But they are trained and they carry weapons. They disarmed a man. They did suffer some cuts, which is unfortunate. But the difference is here, 2 police officers, and I'll say it again, wearing body armour, who are trained to deal with people with weapons and who are carrying their own weapons, get a bravery award. But yet, a guy in the street who is approached and from the witness statements has a knife pulled out on him, which he then disarms and takes the lad to the floor where the boy accidentally cuts himself. Again, that's going off of the report. And he gets arrested for wounding with intent. Wounding with intent would mean that he had to, in my opinion, would mean that he would have had to, you know, let's say he knocked the boy out. Let's say he punched him, knocked him out, kid's lying on the floor. Then the guy goes inside, picks up a weapon, comes back out, and then cuts him. He's gone to get the weapon and with the intent of hurting the lad. That's wounding with intent. Surely, if a knife falls on the floor, or if you take a knife off of somebody and they struggle with you and you've got the knife in your hand, providing you're not jabbing at them like that, then how can it be wounding with intent? Why is a member of the public arrested for wounding with intent? And why are police officers given an award for doing the same thing? Ultimately, it's, it's double standards. And so, I think it's just the fact that if I hadn't have seen those stories in the newspaper yesterday and made that video about it, the chances are this particular story wouldn't have jumped out at me. And again, I've had some great comments on the other video, and I understand all of your opinions and views, okay, and where you stand on that matter. Some of you have brought up some really good points, okay, you really have brought up some good points. I may not agree with everybody, but I agree that you have your right to an opinion, okay, and your opinions and your views are valid. Some people come on and they just attack me and you know, in the channel and the video. But people who genuinely come on and you've got something sensible to say, I will always listen to that, and I'll always try and respond as well. I think most of you know that as well. But for this for me, it just stood out, and it just jumped out at me, and it just made me think, why? Because they're wearing a uniform, why are you trying to promote the police doing something that a member of the public in the same situation almost is vilified for? All I can think of is that you are, you know, there's a narrative that you're trying to portray, okay, and I understand that the police force isn't respected as much as it used to be, and so stories like this are great PR for, you know, for the police service. I understand that, but surely great PR for the police force would be actually doing their job more often, properly, with integrity and dignity. Surely that would you know, be better PR and afford more respect from the public who you are supposed to serve. I don't quite understand what goes through people's heads. It confuses me. It confuses me at times as to what goes through people's heads. But for me, in my opinion, I don't see how you can award a trophy to a police officer for bravery. It's not like, and again, I understand the job is difficult and I understand it can be dangerous, but the police join the police force understanding, people join the police force understanding that they could be put in danger. They join knowing that. They are trained to deal with that, to combat that situation. They are the biggest gang in the country. They have weapons, they are weaponized. They have body armor, okay? And yet you get somebody in the street who disarms somebody who's pulled a knife out on him, and he gets arrested, taken away. Okay, on suspicion of. But that's not the point. It's not the point. Even the newspaper said that there were several witnesses there that explained what happened. Girl in the shop hit the attacker with a bat. Having that bat there is, you know, that's almost premeditated, if you like. It may not have been premeditated for her to actually use it at that point, but having a bat, a baseball bat, where it was, which was literally a few steps away from behind the counter, having it there is almost like having a bat in your door pocket, in your car door, okay? What would happen if the police pulled you over and you've got a bat in your car door pocket, or any kind of weapon in there? You would be arrested for having an offensive weapon. Or at the very least, you'd be cautioned for it. And that's just for having it, without using it. I'm not saying that the lady should be in trouble for what she done, because I think we can all agree that if our lives are threatened, we do what we need to do. We do what has to be done, and that, you know, whatever that is, to protect our lives. Simple fact that the bat was there and she gets called brave, and she is, I'm not disputing that fact at all, but what I'm saying is the difference here between the brave young lady fighting off an adult attacker and teen gets stabbed by his own knife, you know, in a scuffle with a 40-year-old man. How does that make that 40-year-old man sound? Do you know what I mean? absolutely ridiculous. Those two people, the man and that woman who were mentioned in yesterday's video, they should be getting an award because they don't walk around the streets expecting to be stabbed, or they don't go to work expecting somebody to come in with a knife and threaten their lives. And those people acted, as far as I'm concerned, in a way that anybody else would have acted in that situation, or anybody else would have wanted to act in that situation. And, you know, kudos to them for doing that. Fuck that 15-year-old kid who got, you know, cut in the leg. You don't want to get injured, don't carry weapons, dickhead. Do you know what I mean? And as for the lad that walked in the shop, well, I wish that she'd hit him a little bit harder, to be honest. But, you know, actually put him on his arse. But then again, the police would have just arrested her. Or maybe they wouldn't. Who knows what the police do these days? They have one rule for one person and another for somebody else. But my point is, I'm a little bit pissed off at seeing that two police officers are getting a bravery award for dealing with a knife-wielding shop theft person, whilst body armoured, weaponised and trained, and yet, you know, somebody on the street gets picked up and taken to the police station for doing the same without body armour and without weapons of his own, you know. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. I think that the man and the woman, as I say yesterday, I think they should get an award for their bravery at the end of the day. But yeah, let me know what you think below. I know some of you will side for the police, some of you will side not with the police, and that's fine. Again, love your comments. I enjoy interacting with you, as you all know. So I'm going to leave it there. And until next time.
Okay, this literally only came through a few minutes ago. An update to the 40-year-old man who was arrested for tackling a teenager with a knife. Yeah, so this was posted at 12:38 today, 27th of May, and the time now is 12:53. So it was only 15 minutes ago that it was posted. And it came through just a few minutes ago. Literally, I've just rendered the other video, just completed the first part of this video when this came through. And obviously I want to be honest and truthful with everybody. Don't want to hide any facts from anybody if there are facts to be seen. So I've had to add this on to the end, and then I've got to go through the process of re-rendering the video. But anyway, so the guy, the 40-year-old man who was arrested for wounding with intent, has been released. This article is the article that I read through yesterday in my video about double standards. And if we come to the bottom, it just says, little add-on at the bottom here. Today, a spokeswoman for Merseyside Police said no further action would be taken against the man, and he had been released from custody. The force said inquiries into the incident are still ongoing, but no further arrests have been made as yet. I personally, if I'd have found that the guy had been charged, I couldn't, in all good consciousness, just not do anything about it. So I would have created a petition to try and help the guy, because how can we be vilified for protecting our life? How can we be vilified for protecting our life? You can't. It's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, the police seem to want us to do, as members of the public, they seem to want us to do what they do. And that is wait until the incident has occurred, rather than take preventative measures. We know, yes, there are police out there that are actively, doing preventative work in specific areas of policing. In some terrorist incidents, for example, they are doing surveillance and they're doing all that kind of stuff that they do as a preventative measure. Although it doesn't stop it all the time, it does stop some of the attacks and some of the problems that we could face. However, when it comes to normal policing, when it comes to normal bobbies on the beat, so to speak, it seems that they like to wait until the incident has happened or create the incident themselves. That's how the police seem to work. It seems that we're not allowed to take our own preventative measures, even when it is, when we are faced with a life or death situation. And whether the kid's 15 or 50, it makes no difference. When you've got a knife, when they've got a knife, you are at a distinct disadvantage and you have to take action to prevent to prevent you being dead, basically. I didn't want to miss this out because it came to light after I'd done the original part of this video, because that would be, you know, omitting information is just as bad as lying, and I want to be as honest and truthful with you as possible, which is why I always try and show you where I get my information from. So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thank you again. If you haven't subscribed, please do. If you haven't liked, please do. If you haven't disliked, don't. Share the video if you want. And yeah, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks very much, and I'll see you again soon.